After watching so many travel videos, I thought I came prepared my first time going to Japan. But somehow nobody's really talking about the Japanese customs when it comes to buying clothes. So my first experience in a Japanese shopping mall in Tokyo was pretty awkward because of that. I saw this amazingly looking trendy boutique store in the shopping mall. I think it was called X Femme. I walked in and I saw this dress, this beautiful dress, and I wanted to try it on. But I soon realized that the size is F, which now I know it stands for one size fits all. But back then I didn't. So I was also looking, are there other sizes of this dress? I figured out that they only had one piece of this dress in this store. All the clothing items in this store were only one piece and they all had size F. So okay, I thought I will just try it on, see if it fits. Then came the dressing rooms. They were always full, and whenever somebody entered a dressing room, there was this lady who would first shout something and then somebody would enter the dressing room. So I walked up to her, I held the dress up and I pointed to the dress being like, I want to try this on. So she took the dress from me and she asked name. So I said Nora. She wrote it down and she went back to her work. So I was just standing there in this shop thinking to myself, what am I supposed to do now? I know they will most likely shout my name so that I can enter the dressing room, but I don't think they're gonna shout my name in the way that I expect to hear my name, since it's a very foreign name. So I was standing in the corner and I was listening so closely to this woman shouting out names in the hopes that when she does shout my name, I will actually recognize it. I also made the mistake of going shopping on a Saturday afternoon, which I do not recommend, because that's when all the other people are out and about, enjoying their time, buying clothing. Just try to go on a weekday afternoon or later in the evenings, because you'll have a much easier time if you don't need to wait in line for a dressing room. So finally she shouted something and she looked at me, and that was my cue. So I walked up to her and I thought I could just walk into this dressing room, try the clothing on, but no. One thing that I've noticed in most stores in Japan is that you cannot just walk into a dressing room. Even when you are shopping during a weekday and there's nobody else in the store, you cannot just walk into a dressing room. That's just not how it works over there. So what they will do is they will take the items that you want to try on and take them off the hanger for you. And they will prepare the items for you to wear. So she will actually unbutton the blouse or unzip the pants before handing them over to you. Even if there's nobody else there, she will still want to take the items from you and prepare them for you to wear. Which I guess it's nice, but to me it's also very weird, because I can just do this myself and you don't have to help me out in this part of the process. Anyway, you will walk into a dressing room and you will then see a piece of carpet in the dressing room. Now that's the place where you cannot wear your shoes, so you have to take off your shoes before you step onto it. And then the lady will hand you your clothing items and there will be a bag there. The way that this was explained to me was, apparently you are supposed to put the bag over your head whenever you're taking a clothing item that goes over your head, so that your makeup doesn't get transferred onto the clothing item. Now, I do get that to some degree, but I will get back to that later. So I was trying on the dress, I quite liked it, and then another difficult part comes up where you actually have to tell them that you would like to take the dress with you. So I walked out of the dressing room and there's always somebody who is standing there near the dressing room. I don't know how they do it, but whenever I exit the dressing room, there is a lady that's looking at me and I actually really still don't know what she wants, but at least I can tell her immediately, like, yeah, I like this or I don't like this. So what I will do is I will just take up the item and be like, and she will get the hint, because I don't speak a word Japanese. The next thing that will happen is you will walk to the place where you can pay for it. And you are not actually buying the item that you just tried on. They will go into the back and get the exact same item, but then not worn by anybody. Which I do quite like, actually, the idea of buying an item that is actually new and not already tried on by maybe like 10 people at this point. But that also makes me wonder, why do I need to put a bag over my head to not transfer my makeup when this is not actually an item that anybody will buy? But yeah, I guess that's just how it goes in these stores. So the store that I walked in, I would classify as a trendy boutique store. It's like the furthest removed from what I'm used to here in Europe, but there are different types of stores that are a bit less extreme, you might say. You will easily recognize them by the amount of pieces they will have of a certain clothing item. So this store only had this single dress. At that point, you know that it will be a one-size-fits-all. And sometimes these clothing items are still too small for me. Luckily, there are what I would call boutiques. So the clothing in these boutiques will be a bit less trendy, but they are still very unique, and there are still a lot of stores like this. And how you can recognize them is that the items will most likely have a couple of the same items hanging. That means that they will sell 3 sizes of all the clothing pieces, which is still not a lot, but you will have more luck finding something in your actual size. They sell a small, medium, and large. And I think I would be similar to a Japanese medium to large. Like, for example, in this dress, this is a Japanese dress, the sleeve length is still not long enough for my arms. So usually for these items I will go for a large, but this was a one-size-fits-all item. In these stores, still you will have the custom that you cannot just enter a dressing room without an employee helping you. So keep that in mind. If you want to try on an item, you can just walk up to somebody and point to the dressing room and say a sumimasen, and they will know what you mean and they will help you out there. I had another very awkward experience in the store where I wanted to try out this set of like, it was like a coat and a skirt, and the lady would look at me and go like, and I was just so confused about what she meant. So I kept on pointing at like, apparently they will sell skirts and pants for different lengths, which I am very much not used to. So if you see a skirt but then hanging like one after another, it usually indicates that those skirts will be of different lengths. So now you know, if anybody ever does this for you, then you know that they're talking about the length of the skirt or the pants. But don't worry, there are still plenty of stores that are the exact same as what we are used to, with there being items that are in multiple different sizes that you do not need to ask anybody to help you before entering the dressing rooms. But these stores will not have the most fashionable items there, so keep that in mind while you are preparing yourself for your next trip to Japan. I hope this was useful. This was based on my own experience shopping in Japan for a couple of weeks in the major cities of Tokyo and Osaka. If there's any questions that you still might have, then please feel free to comment them down below. And if you have any tips for me how I can improve me being a customer at these stores, then I would also love to hear that. Probably I will have to actually learn some Japanese things that I can say to the employees instead of just pointing and thumbs up or thumbs down. But it works. So far I've been able to manage myself. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed yourself, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye.